We want to be people of reason, or we should want to be people of reason. Both those things are actually the same. Indeed, we want our societies to be governed by reason. People, being people, have different preferences. How then should we go about deciding what we as a society should do, given differing viewpoints? Well, we vote, don't we? We enact the will of the people. And to ensure we are reasonable when we go about doing this, we should employ the tools of reason. Mathematics to the rescue, of course. Indeed, there is a branch of mathematics called game theory, and within that an even narrower branch called social choice theory, which, as we will come to see, animated such luminaries as von Neumann to try to set in mathematical stone the logical rules for making decisions when people's preferences differed. The point of this chapter, chapter 13 Choices, as I see it anyway, is twofold. On the one hand, it is a defense of logic and mathematics and reason more generally to solve problems, to solve real problems. But on the other, it is a criticism of the idea that we can create pristine algorithms, proofs or whatever you like, of what we should do, how we should vote, what voting systems we should implement, what decision algorithms we should try and legislate for, so that we are always perfectly reasonable. The reason why that project has failed and will always fail is because there exist in the mathematical universe, and hence in the physical universe, so-called no-go theorems. These no-go theorems can be used to show, or mathematically prove we might say, that there is no such thing really as the will of the people. Now, as David writes on, and we'll come to this on page 338, there is no way to regard society as a decision maker with self-consistent preferences, end quote. Society is a thing that exists, but it is not something analogous to a single mind which can indeed be said to have preferences. But as we'll also come to see, things are even more complicated than that, because individual minds themselves must be inconsistent in some ways. So the whole purpose here, and why this chapter has such an important role in the beginning of Infinity, is that we want to make choices that transform the world into a better place, don't we? But any attempt to do this by supposedly perfectly rational means will always meet with paradoxes and irrationality. And this is because the conventional view of transforming the world into a better place is to decide between the existing theories on offer. But in truth, this is rarely actually the choice before us, whether it's in our own personal lives or as a society at large. We people create new explanations which themselves transform the world. People get into terrible debates and deadlock and dead ends in those debates over what should and indeed must absolutely be done to solve some particular problem. But they fight over the existing solutions as though they are the only possible solutions that shall ever present themselves, or that indeed this is how we should spend a great deal of our energy, in debates over dead-end solutions. Rational decision making, as we will come to see, on this worldview, and we're going to explore this towards the end of the chapter, is more about choosing among explanations and finding which is the best explanation once all the others have been successfully criticised.